every insult to pierce them, and every opinion to sway them. They allow chaos to rule their decisions. The strong, the ones who rise, are impervious to noise. They cultivate a stillness that unnerves others. When people speak against you, do not respond immediately. Let their words hang in the air like smoke. Observe, calculate, wait. When the moment comes, act in a way that surprises everyone, not out of emotion, but out of strategy. Every action must have weight, every silence must have meaning, every glance must carry authority. Power is not loud, it is not flashy, it is precise, subtle, and absolute. People will always try to manipulate you. Friends, family, colleagues, allies, strangers, they all have hidden motives. The world is filled with actors wearing smiles while sharpening knives behind your back. If you do not see the motives beneath the surface, if you do not anticipate betrayal before it strikes, you will be consumed. To stay ahead, you must become unreadable. Your thoughts must be your own. Your decisions must be your own. Your decisions must be your own. Let no one know your strategy. Let no one predict your moves, and let no one have leverage over you. Invisibility in thought is as essential as visibility in action. Embrace discomfort. The world rewards those who endure what others cannot. Power never comes to the comfortable, the pampered, the idle. Every challenge you overcome, every fear you conquer, every personal weakness you master becomes a weapon. Turn your pain into discipline. Turn your isolation into focus. Let rejection sharpen your instincts. Let loss educate your mind. Those who complain, those who hesitate, those who seek approval will remain small. Those who endure, those who plan, those who rise above the need for validation will become unstoppable. You must also learn the art of calculated generosity. Giving indiscriminately is weakness. Giving strategically is power. When you reward loyalty, when you help someone only when it serves a larger plan, when you allow others to believe they are gaining more than they truly are, you create bonds of obligation, unseen chains that pull people toward your will. True generosity is never obvious. It is invisible leverage. People should feel indebted even when they cannot articulate why. This subtlety is the language of dominance. Never reveal your true feelings, never confess your doubts, never admit mistakes openly. Vulnerability is currency spent too cheaply. Those who reveal themselves entirely are crushed by their own transparency. The strongest never show the depth of their anger, the breadth of their fear, or the weakness of their desire. They let others wonder, let others miscalculate, let others stumble over illusions carefully crafted. A mind that cannot be predicted, cannot be defeated. Power is also about presence, not performance. People will respond to how you carry yourself, not always to what you say. Walk like a person who owns the world, even when you own nothing. Speak like a person whose opinion shapes reality. Let your confidence be unshakable, your focus unyielding. People follow certainty more than they follow truth. Present decisiveness, and you command attention. And hesitate, and even the strongest allies will doubt you. Learn the art of selective confrontation. Never fight every battle. Choose which conflicts define your rise. The foolish exhaust themselves on minor skirmishes, wasting energy, revealing their weaknesses, diluting their reputation. The wise strike only where the victory matters, where the impact echoes, where the gain is absolute. Patience is not weakness. It is the silent preparation for domination. Wait, watch, then act with precision that leaves no room for retaliation. And remember, fear is a tool. Not fear that paralyzes, but fear that commands respect. People must understand that crossing you has consequences. That disloyalty has a price. Fear mixed with respect creates obedience. Too much kindness, unchecked, breeds contempt. Too much weakness exposed breeds betrayal. Balance firmness with subtlety, strength with discretion, authority with unpredictability. Those who miscalculate you will do so at their peril. Finally, accept that power demands solitude. To rise, you will often be alone. Those who envy you will attempt to isolate you. Those who love you will not always understand the path you must walk. Those who surround you may serve their interests before yours. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is the forge in which empires are built. Within that solitude, sharpen your mind, refine your strategy, and embrace the vision that only you can carry. When you finally reach a state where no one can move you, no one can provoke you, no one can manipulate you, you will realize the ultimate truth. Power is not about controlling others. Power is about mastering yourself. Control your mind and the world bends. Control your emotions and the world fears. Control your presence and the world obeys. Dominate yourself first, dominate the battlefield second, and you will become the force that reshapes reality. Power is not given. Power is seized. It is honed through discipline, hardened through solitude, sharpened through strategy, and protected through secrecy. Those who achieve it are not lucky, not gifted, not chosen. They are relentless. They endure what others flee. They act when others hesitate. They see the game that everyone else misses. And when the world finally bends to them, they do not boast. They do not explain. They simply exist. And in that existence, every observer knows that the unyielding, the calculated, and the unseen will always command, always conquer, always rise. Power is not born in comfort. It is forged in struggle and the quiet battles no one sees. While the world chases distractions, the powerful observe. While others fear loss, the powerful study it, understand it, and use it. You must see every interaction, every glance, every word spoken or unspoken as data. People reveal themselves through tiny cracks, small gestures, patterns unnoticed by the careless. Learn to read the room, the mind, the hidden motives behind every smile. Strategy is nothing without knowledge, and knowledge comes from relentless observation. You cannot afford sentimentality. People will disappoint you. Allies will betray you. Friends will envy you. Family will undermine you. If you do not prepare for this, if you do not harden your mind, your rise will crumble at the first challenge. Expect treachery and you will be ready. Expect loyalty and you will be surprised. The wise do not rely on others to protect their ascent. The wise rely on themselves, their judgment, their foresight, their patience. Learn the invisible art of influence. Speak softly, but let your presence speak louder than words. A well-timed silence, a subtle gesture, a carefully placed compliment, a hidden warning. These are weapons far sharper than loud declarations. People are influenced not by your intentions, but by what they perceive. Your reality is defined not by truth, but by the way you control perception. Master perception, and you control the world without moving a single piece on the board. Do not fear conflict, fear weakness. Those who avoid confrontation because of discomfort are doomed. Yet know that not all battles are yours to fight. Some fights are traps, some victories are illusions. Choose your battles carefully. The moment you act must be the moment that leaves no doubt, the moment that establishes authority, the moment that teaches obedience without question. Patience, timing, and precision are the silent forces that elevate the strong above the many. Understand the power of absence. To be omnipresent is to be undervalued. To vanish, even briefly, is to become essential. When people cannot reach you easily, when they cannot anticipate your next move, they become obsessed with your presence, desperate for your attention, fearful of your silence. Absence amplifies respect. It creates longing. It elevates influence. Use this wisely. Step back when others push too close, withdraw when they take you for granted, and watch as your influence grows in your absence more than it ever did in your presence. Fear and respect are intertwined, but do not mistake fear for hatred. Hatred erodes, fear solidifies. People fear those they cannot predict, those they cannot fully understand, those whose capabilities are hidden yet undeniable. Learn to be feared without provoking hatred that endangers your position. Subtle dominance is always stronger than overt force. People who bow out of fear respect it. People who resist because of pride underestimate it. Balance is the weapon of the truly powerful. Embrace the cold clarity of calculation. Every choice, every decision, every word must be measured for its consequences, both seen and unseen. Impulsiveness is the luxury of the weak. Discipline is the currency of the strong. Emotional reactions are traps. Strategy is the escape. Before acting, always ask, how will this strengthen me? How will this weaken my opposition? How will this shape the perception of those who watch? Your life must be approached as a chessboard, and you must always think 5, 10, 15 moves ahead. Control is cultivated in the quiet moments. Your greatest victories are not always public. Sometimes the most decisive acts of power happen behind closed doors, unnoticed by everyone but the one you are influencing. Patience is a hidden blade. Restraint is a silent force. Those who seem calm, unshakable, impenetrable, wield power in ways the impulsive will never understand. They strike when the timing is perfect, and when they do, the world realizes they have already been winning quietly all along. Learn to isolate, yet never appear isolated. Surround yourself only with those who serve your growth, challenge your thinking, and align with your purpose. The many who offer loyalty without insight are distractions. Those who serve their own ambition under the guise of friendship are hazards. Trust sparingly, observe relentlessly. Reward selectively. Manipulate invisibly. Your inner circle must be small, sharp, and loyal, not because of words, but because of necessity, respect, and the subtle fear of consequence. The mind of the powerful is a fortress. Emotions are its walls, logic its guards, patience its gatekeepers. If the mind is weak, the strongest body, the most strategic plan, the most loyal army will crumble. Control your mind first, and the world will follow. Fear, anger, doubt, desire, all must be subdued, understood, and transformed into tools of influence. The world bends only to those whose minds bend first to themselves, and above all, embrace the solitude of power. Greatness demands it. The journey is lonely. Those you love may not understand. Those you trust may falter. Yet within that solitude lies clarity, discipline, strategy, and the kind of insight only the solitary can achieve. In the silence, in the distance, in the absence, you cultivate dominance. You sharpen instincts. You see patterns no one else can see. You rise unseen, unstoppable, unchallenged. When you reach that point where nothing shakes you, where no betrayal surprises you, where no distraction can sway you, you will understand that power was never about domination of others. It was about the mastery of self. It was about turning chaos into order, weakness into strength, observation into action, patience into inevitability. The one who masters self becomes the one whom the world must follow. The one who masters strategy becomes the one the world cannot ignore. The one who masters presence becomes the force that shapes reality without effort. Power is not a reward. It is a conquest. It is a burden, a responsibility, and an obsession. It is built on discipline, invisibility, patience, and ruthless clarity. The strong do not wait for opportunity. They create it. They do not hope for loyalty. They demand it with subtle chains of influence. They do not fear conflict. They select it with precision. They do not seek approval. They demand results. And when they rise, they do so with a force that is silent, invisible, and inevitable. The world will attempt to test you. People will attempt to distract you. Enemies will attempt to destroy you. But if you have mastered the rules, if you have tempered your mind, if you have controlled your impulses, if you have perfected the art of influence and presence, nothing can stop you. You will not rise by chance. You will rise by design. You will not merely exist, you will define existence. You will not merely command attention, you will command destiny itself. Power is not something you stumble into. It is a storm you summon, a fire you ignite within yourself long before the world even sees your flame. Every moment wasted in comfort, every second surrendered to fear, every thought wasted on doubt is a moment lost on your rise. You must observe constantly. People reveal themselves not in their words, but in the small cracks they cannot hide, the hesitations, the tiny gestures, the fleeting expressions. The world is full of blind observers. If you are not watching, you will be watched and defeated by those who are. You cannot afford sentimentality. The world is indifferent to your feelings. Allies will betray you. Friends will envy you. Family will disappoint you. The moment you expect loyalty, you invite betrayal. The moment you rely on love, you risk manipulation. Strength is born from anticipating treachery and learning to move beyond it. Do not react in shock, react with calculation. The powerful do not stumble. They plan, even for betrayal. They see it coming long before the weak even imagine it. Influence is the silent weapon. Words are cheap, actions are louder, and presence is louder still. Learn to speak rarely but decisively. Learn to act subtly but irreversibly. Learn to be seen without being understood, to be feared without being hated, to be respected without explaining. People act not according to truth, but according to perception. Master perception, and you control reality with finger. Every gesture, every pause, every glance can be a tool in shaping the minds around you. Do not fear confrontation. Fear irrelevance. Those who shrink from conflict for comfort will be erased. But know this, not all battles are yours. The wise understand timing. They strike where it counts, where victory is certain, where influence is cemented. They wait, they observe, they prepare in silence. Patience is power. Restraint is dominance. The impulsive act and fail. The calculated act and conquer. Timing is everything. Absence amplifies value. When you are everywhere, you are ignored. When you are scarce, you are sought. Learn to disappear without notice, to step back when others take you for granted, to create longing with every subtle withdrawal. Let the world feel your absence before it craves your presence. Scarcity is respect, and respect is control. Power is the art of making people need you without showing desperation. Fear and respect are intertwined. Fear, carefully wielded, secures obedience. Hatred destroys it. Those who fear you without hating you will act in alignment with your will. Those who love you without respect will disappoint. Balance dominance with subtlety. Let people see strength, but never the full depth of your strategy. Let them underestimate you superficially while the true force of your presence grows invisibly. Master calculation. No. Every choice, every word, every action carries consequences. The weak act on impulse. The strong act with foresight. Before moving, always ask, what does this accomplish? Who benefits? Who is weakened? What will people think? Strategy is the bridge between vision and reality. Impulsiveness is the trap of the ordinary. Disciplined patience is the weapon of the extraordinary. Your greatest power is control over self. Emotions are tools or chains. Anger, desire, envy, fear, they can guide you or enslave you. Control them, and they become instruments of influence. Fail to control them, and they will dictate your downfall. The world is ruled by those who bend internally first, by those whose mind is immovable when chaos rages around them. Strength begins inside. Master yourself, and the external world falls in line. Power demands solitude. The journey is lonely because greatness cannot be achieved through the approval of the masses. Those you love may not understand your path. Those you trust may stumble. Isolation is not punishment. It is preparation. In the silence, clarity emerges. In the absence of distraction, strategy takes shape. In solitude, you sharpen your instincts, you anticipate moves, you become unassailable. The strong understand the art of selective generosity. Give sparingly, give strategically. Every reward, every favor, every compliment should carry hidden leverage. Let those around you feel indebted without ever knowing why. Let loyalty be bought subtly, obligation earned invisibly. Generosity is not weakness. It is the silent chain that binds people to your will. Never show all of yourself. Vulnerability is currency squandered. Those who reveal their doubts, their emotions, their weaknesses are consumed by them. The wise hide their depth, their capacity, their intentions. Let others wonder, miscalculate, and stop. A mind that cannot be read is a mind that cannot be challenged. Every hidden layer is a fortress, and every fortress is power. The presence of the powerful is not performance. It is a signal. It is the quiet confidence that commands attention. Walk as though the world is yours. Speak as though your words shape reality. Certainty, not explanation, earns obedience. People follow those who appear unshakable, even when they do not fully understand why. Hesitate, and the illusion of control fades. Act decisively, and the world bows silently. Selective confrontation is the mark of the master. Not every enemy needs to be fought. Not every insult answered. Waste your energy, and the world will consume it. Choose your battles where the outcome reshapes perception, where the victory resonates beyond the immediate, where your dominance becomes undeniable. Patience is the silent strike. Calculation is the weapon. Timing is the assassin. Observe constantly, absorb relentlessly, learn perpetually. Every human interaction is a puzzle. Every look, every word, every hesitation is a clue. The weak see people as they present themselves. The powerful see them as they truly are. Understand motives before they are revealed. Anticipate betrayal before it comes. Use knowledge to predict, manipulate, and dominate without anyone noticing. Intelligence is the silent empire of the unseen. And when you finally reach the stage where no one can shake you, where no attack can unsettle you, where no opinion can sway you, you realize the truth. Power is not about controlling others. It is about mastery of self. It is about converting discipline into influence, observation into advantage, patience into inevitability. The world bows not to the loudest, not to the cruelest, not to the boldest, but to the one who is unshakable, invisible, relentless, and inevitable. Power is not given. Power is earned. Power is seized, honed, protected, and preserved through vision, patience, calculation, and mastery of self. The weak speak of power, the strong build it. The weak envy power, the strong embody it. The weak are reactive, the strong are architects of destiny. And when you finally rise, it will not be by luck, it will not be by chance, it will not be by hope. You will rise because you prepared, because you endured, because you mastered, because you became the force the world cannot ignore, the presence that defines reality, the mind that shapes destiny. Staying unseen is also a form of discipline. It means you control your impulses. You resist the urge to prove yourself. You resist the need to correct others' opinions. You resist the temptation to show off your progress. This discipline strengthens your character. It teaches you patience, timing, and emotional control. And emotional control is the core of power. Machiavelli said that fortune favors the disciplined, not the impulsive. A powerful person knows how to weaponize rarity. When you show up rarely, your presence becomes a signal that something important is happening. People listen more carefully. They observe more closely. They analyze your body language, your words, your choices. Your impact multiplies because it is not diluted by constant availability. You do not need to speak loudly, you need to speak rarely. Rarity gives weight. Even in personal relationships, this principle holds true. When you maintain your individuality, your private life, your ambitions separate from others, you become someone people respect, not someone they consume. Too much closeness suffocates respect. Too much exposure kills admiration. This is why the powerful always keep a part of themselves hidden. They share parts of their life, but never their whole life. They give access, but never full access. Being unseen is not about physical disappearance. It is about spiritual and psychological elevation. It is about transcending the need to be everywhere. It is about understanding that your value does not come from presence, but from selective presence. It is about walking into a room and having people feel your energy because they see you rarely, not because you have been trying to impress them. This is why the truly powerful stay unseen. Not out of weakness, not out of fear, but because they understand that visibility is not always strength. Sometimes invisibility is. Sometimes the greatest move you can make is to take a step back. Sometimes the strongest statement you can make is to say nothing. Sometimes the most powerful presence is absence. You must become someone who is not easily accessed, not easily understood, not easily predicted. You must become someone who builds in silence, moves in silence, and strikes at the right moment. Because in the end, power is not about how often you show up. It is about how deeply they feel you when you do. The power of staying unseen also lies in the way it redirects your focus inward. When you are no longer performing for the eyes of others, you begin to see yourself with clarity. You are no longer influenced by noise, opinions, or comparisons. You stop measuring your life by the attention you receive and start measuring it by the progress you make. This internal shift transforms your identity. You stop chasing validation and start chasing mastery. You stop trying to impress others and start trying to improve yourself. And improvement done in silence is always more honest, more disciplined, and more effective. When you are unseen, you become harder to judge. People cannot categorize you. They cannot place limits on you. They cannot define you. When you spend too much time in public view, people begin to box you in. They decide who you are before you decide it for yourself. But when you remain selectively invisible, you escape their definitions. You become fluid, flexible, unpredictable. Your identity remains your own, not a reflection controlled by the crowd. This invisibility gives you the freedom to evolve. You can change without resistance because no one is watching closely enough to notice every step. You can transform quietly until the transformation is undeniable. This is how the powerful rise, slowly, silently, and then suddenly. People think the rise was instant, but it was built in the shadows. The shadows are where power grows. Light is where results are shown. Machiavelli observed that a man who is overly visible becomes overly vulnerable. The more people see of you, the more they know where to strike. They understand your patterns, your weaknesses, your desires. They learn how to manipulate you. But when you stay unseen, even the people closest to you never fully understand how you think. And when people cannot understand you, they cannot predict you. This unpredictability becomes your armor. Unpredictability also gives you negotiating power. When people do not know whether you will say yes or no, whether you will show up or not, whether you will agree or disagree, they become cautious. They treat you with respect. They prepare carefully before approaching you. They do not assume access. They request it. You shift from being someone who seeks opportunities to someone who creates them. Remaining unseen also protects you from emotional manipulation. Many people try to influence others through guilt, sympathy, or emotional pressure. But when you maintain distance, when you do not emotionally expose yourself, these tactics fail. You become immune to the emotional traps that catch most people. This emotional detachment does not make you cold. It makes you strong. It allows you to think with clarity instead of reacting from impulse. Another aspect of unseen power is the aura it creates. Aura is something you cannot manufacture through constant presence. It can only be built through selective absence. Aura is the sense that there is more to you than what is visible. It is the feeling that you know things others don't, that you see things others miss, that you carry experiences others cannot imagine. Aura is created when people feel your depth but cannot fully understand it, and that requires invisibility. A person who is always explaining, always talking, always performing has no aura. He is too exposed. When you remain unseen, you also develop patience. You learn to wait for the right moment to reveal your strength. Timing is everything in power. Machiavelli taught that acting too early is as dangerous as acting too late. You must learn to move only when the moment guarantees maximum impact. And you can only do this when you are not pressured by constant visibility. A person who is always performing must act quickly. A person who is unseen can act precisely. Distance also gives you leverage in relationships. When you remove your presence, people begin to seek it. When you stop giving attention, people start craving it. When you stop showing up for everyone, those who valued you will move toward you. Those who never cared will disappear, and those who took you for granted will feel the discomfort of your absence. Absence opens eyes, presence closes them. People often claim they want to be respected, but they behave in ways that destroy respect. They cling, they explain, they overdo, they overshare. Respect comes from restraint, not release. When you hold back, when you choose your moments, when you keep certain parts of yourself private, people sense your value. They sense that you cannot be approached lightly. They sense that you are not desperate for attention or approval. This alone separates you from 99% of the world. Staying unseen also reduces conflict. When you are always present, you inevitably step on the wrong toes. You attract envy, rivalry, and unnecessary challenges. But when you move quietly, opposition is minimal because most people don't even know what you're doing. You remove yourself from the battlefield until you are ready to win. And by the time people notice, the game is already over. Another powerful thing happens when you limit your presence. You create a sense of elevation. People begin to imagine that you are doing extraordinary things in your absence, even if you were simply focusing on yourself. They assume you are working on big plans. They assume your silence has meaning. They assume your distance has purpose. And because people tend to exaggerate the unknown, they elevate you beyond reality. This psychological elevation increases your influence without you having to say a word. You also gain control over your emotions when you reduce your exposure. The more you interact with the world influences your emotions. But when you remain unseen, your emotional world stabilizes. You regain control over your reactions. You stop feeling the need to respond to everything. You grow comfortable in your own aura, your own silence, your own path. And most importantly, staying unseen teaches you the value of inner strength. Inner strength is something that does not require witnesses. It grows in private. It grows in silence. It grows when you are alone with your thoughts, your ambitions, your fears, and your discipline. A powerful person's foundation is built when no one is watching. What people see later is only the finished structure, not the construction. Machiavelli understood that the one who shows his cards loses before the game even starts. The one who keeps his cards close, who moves subtly, who reveals little, becomes the most dangerous player. Because no one knows what he holds, how he thinks, or when he will strike. This is why the truly powerful stay unseen. Not because they hide from the world, but because they understand the world. They understand human nature. They understand psychology. They understand timing. They understand scarcity. They understand that visibility is a trap and mystery is a throne. When you stop showing up, you stop chasing. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. When you start attracting, you do not need force. Your aura does the work. Your presence becomes a privilege. Your attention becomes a reward. Your silence becomes a lesson. Your distance becomes a message. And one day when you finally choose to appear, The world will realize that you were never gone, you were only becoming powerful.